apologize for reading from a phone. And that's about the funniest thing that's going to happen in my reading. If not now, when? Porcupines ain't got shit on me. Life's like taking out the garbage. We don't want to, so it piles up. The more showers I take, the less peeps in the future won't. Where will you be when the water runs out? I live in the bottom cup at a time cubes have gone forgetting their forms. If these buildings get any taller, we might not never leave. 2014 is a metaphor for never getting anywhere and never forgetting. They can deliver birds and medicine in the mail. If you have enough money, you can do about anything. All the music I own is growing older by standards. Dear Ludwig, ever think we'd make it this long? Ever think there'd be flying cars or people? My life is a public domain, and some users of BitTorrents are still after my sex stories. After the times I smoke PCP or sprinkle Coke on weed, Frosted Flakes. Or when I call and they don't answer, fuck caller. I'd be better in the near present. Everyone is waiting for a fire, a bonfire, or a tire fire. Sometimes bomb threats are bomb threats. But bomb blasts are always without prior civilian knowledge. I can't wait for my pharmacist and my butcher to be the same person. Scales on dragons represent a form of greed. By not allowing others access, the scales harden and become harder to remove. I might be greedy, but at least I'm not dead. Said every dick ever. If we're all working towards something better, others will have to outwork or outstart. It's only evolution. So much for being an artist and living. Now you have to have a living to be an artist. Tell me how your 401k makes you a better person. We're all being made into other things we can't ever remember being. This metamorphosis can be fought, but why not join them? The view is so beautiful from the top. Of dead and used bodies we piled up along the way. I need a drink. A tall one, a real stiff couple fingers. To know at least I'll get to sleep without thinking about the pretentious people that are also sleeping on better mattresses, under better roofs. Tiny robots without programmed hard drives are switched on and freaked out. They, not knowing what they are or how they work, 20 seconds of flittering and raging, they teach themselves how to walk. Soon we'll be symbiotic, living with bots and bots living in us. If it's all about winning, then there will be nothing left to lose. If forest burns, let it. If a poem burns, let her. If a withdrawal burns, it's only as close as a knife fight, only not as personal. I started smoking when I was 12 and haven't stopped. That means I put all my smoke cash into a retirement fund, dying in a refrigerator box under an 880 overpass. I guess I will never learn anything. Once in the 7th grade, I took my entire class on in geography and won. Later, I realized no one in the room cared like I did about that kind of being the best at that kind of thing. Or, well, anything. I always stopped at the phrase, there will always be someone better. I just hope that person knows what they're doing. In that same class, I changed my fight during a discussion about abortion. You see, I was under a godly impression. After I found myself taking a new direction, away from choosing the rights of others based on the philosophy of ghosts. Not fighting some fights actually makes you a better person. And some fights aren't fights. They're mass hysteria. How will you always be right if you don't think they are always wrong? You gotta love mindsets. In that same year on a youth group event, the doors were open, and so were the arms to all that wanted to come. For the first time, from the time we landed on the island, something was up. Some of the other kids, as the counselor put it, had staked their tents at the top of the island's middle hill in a section of woods being eaten alive by beetles. After lights out and campfire stories and prayers, we went to our tents to sleep off the day. That's when the screaming started. The tired elder, "Oh my God! There's something on the island!" Some ghosts had ruffled the top-tiered tents, shaking the trees around them. Someone was fooling, but their faces and legs were running from something. Down the hill they ran, up the hill we ran. They pointed out claw marks, they pointed out collapsed trees. They wanted to get out as fast as they could. The wind picked up and started to howl. The boats that had brought us there had somehow untethered, floated off the shore. Cell phones weren't a thing yet, so we all just stood around base camp waiting for the sun to rise. Started a large fire. The counselor prayed and had us sing holy songs, but the others had stirred the pot. They were working in tandem with each other's fear, and their eyes roamed and their fingers pointed. By dawn, the boats were way offshore, and an early morning fisherman had wrangled them for us. That night was the third time in my life fear had caused such a general response from some to speak like Pentecostals, like their heads were on fire, to speak in tongues. Explorers of what? Not generosity, not commonplace. 23 plus 23. Maybe obsessions could turn into streetlights. Maybe that far-off island houses that fame you're searching for. What's the difference between up and down if there's a boot in your back? Let's just relabel justice as this fallible thing while God is based on faith. And we are just going to believe the words of people that speak about things they don't know what they're talking about. Unless I'm right, you're wrong counts as nothing. If a corporation is a person and I am a person, I'll believe that when I can stab a corporation in the face. Or in the back. Or if I'm a person that oppresses, people strike me down. Or depending on the year length of the corporation, wouldn't it be right to decide if it's godly or not? At 18, I made I made my own decisions, making right from wrong. But corporations are still logically controlled by their parents, by their creators. When do corporations become adults? When will a corporate merge actually produce a real baby? 23 plus 23. My last promise is a foremost crew on an off-ramp in Wyoming, speeding the raised highway of messed-up truckers. Someone saying, "Slow down! The underpass is coming soon. The road is a fuck you lullaby. Forget those that forget you. Leave some people behind. They might deserve it. Let some things go. You might deserve what's best. But as you sit back in your comfy chair, try not to think of something other than yourself. We can't be letting our ids take over, because we're better than that." Two-eyed hacks. I haven't been sleeping well for the last couple of days. The sleep departed, said it didn't care or for me or to keep up with my standards. I feel that it's taken a strong American stance against my frontal lobe. I keep calling, pouting from the corner. I keep my distance, and so did my dreams. A glimmer on the walls, pastoral divorce of divergence, because no one cares for Z's as much as I. Lazy listeners lament lacking litany. Farmers have gone grading roads to nowhere, to back ends that exhaust and family ties. All the while, the blank styles of checks have staked the chests of vampiric megaphones. I've lost my earbuds, and when the music died, when it went pop, the nerves as such have been sanitized. The last of the least, the meek, the sleek speak of ending. The wind's incoming as soon as we let go. Delete the marchers with tactics, because we slain the giants we thought were dead. Even buried, as bank accounts move on, they leave awake that slinging caveats worldwide. We are what we make ourselves. And our jobs are calling us, wondering where we are, why we are late for the work that still needs to get done. I wish I could say I overslept the diseases are too far from approaching that, like the symbol of real work, real hours for real money, a good trade. Instead, I'm taking out the garbage of the rich, while they scurry from garages to offices, always tended to. Though I never regret, I seldom let a free meal go, waste not, want not, to call my lower class makeup. And Z's find me waiting, and all it will have to do, it will have to do. Some people need it more for all the chaos that they sow into the fabric of America. Thank you.
socks too, by the way.